Hey, it's KJ7 OKW Deadham Walking. Got the XYL and the soda pup here. There he is. And we're going to go activate two virgin parks that have never been activated before. South of Vernal, Utah, near Ouray, there's Pelican Lake National Park and there's Ouray National Wildlife Refuge. They're both on paved roads. It's pretty easy to get to. It's just they're sort of out of the way. We're going to make history and activate two virgin parks today. Come join me. Okay, here's a map of where these two parks are. This map is from the Summits on the Air website under maps. Way up here where the dropped pin is, this is Vernal, Utah, where we're staying. This is the Highway 40 that runs east and west from Heber City all the way over here to the Utah-Colorado border. This is the Green River that runs through the area all the way down to one of the parks here. Comes all the way up from Flaming Gorge, and to get here you take Highway 40 like you're going to Salt Lake City. In about 14 miles you take a left-hand turn on the 88 and it's a straight shot down on paved road. Right here is Pelican Lake. These yellow dots represent the various parks on the air in the area, and just a couple more miles down is this park, which is the Ouray National Wildlife Management Area. This whole green area is the management area. Get a little closer view. Now we've got the drop pin down here on Pelican Lake. Vernal's up here, pretty much the same map. And a little closer shot shows Pelican Lake here, the first park. And all of this dark blue is the Ouray National Wildlife Refuge. You can see there's quite a bit of parking areas. We turned left here and did our loop right about in here. So that's where the parks are. All right, we're heading out of Vernal, Utah, going west on Highway 40 towards Salt Lake City, but in about 14 miles we're going to turn left and go south down to Ouray, Utah. In between here and Ouray, Utah are the two parks. Vernal is at about 5,500 feet. We're in the high desert. Lots of red rocks, plateaus. This is Indian country. Very beautiful. All right, we've just turned left going south on Highway 88. You can see the sign to your right. Pelican Lake is 10 miles and the National Wildlife Refuge is 14 miles, so not too far away. All right, we're coming down a steep grade here, and it looks like that's the reservoir in the background, so we're almost there. Apparently about half the shoreline is private homes, and then the other half is the wildlife part. Let's talk about Pelican Lake. Here's the entrance sign to the area. It's well known for fishing. It's legendary for its world-class bass and bluegill, and thousands of people come here to go fishing. And it's also a great place for bird watchers. There's over 100 recorded species of birds on the water. The lake's been dammed to impound water for irrigation and as well to sustain wetland habitats. About half of the shoreline is privately owned, so be careful where you go. And it's in a high desert ecosystem with dominant grass and stunted trees. And while it's well known for fishing opportunities, it's also good for boating and bird watching, etc. Now, it's not as good as it used to be. In about 2008 and 2009, the adult carp entered the lake and pretty much took over. So there's not that much of the bluegill and bass anymore. And the Bureau of Land Management's trying to rectify that. But this lake isn't quite as good as it used to be. Here's a picture off the internet of the dock area of Pelican Lake. Looks like a nice blue area. However, you don't want to go swimming here. There's the swimmer's itch is caused by a parasite that the birds bring. You're going to get it if you swim in the water, so don't go swimming in the water. All right, we followed the signs to the angler's spot where you're supposed to go fishing, and this is not the prettiest park I've ever been to. This lake looks pretty sad. Although we just came out of winter, you can tell this was just a mud pit a few weeks ago. But we got the lake in the background. I'm out here by myself. I pulled over here because I'm going to attach to that sign back there. I'm going to put my antenna up there and we'll see what we can get. It's still a park. All right, I got my antenna, actually my fishing pole attached to that sign over there, and I got my wire coming across into the back of the Jeep there. Got my little station down there. It looks like we've got a nice clear signal. Should be a lot of fun today. Roger, roger. It's Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Kilo Whiskey KJ70KW.
Okay, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Kilo Whiskey. Got you in the log there. Thanks very much. And good signal from Utah. 73.
73, thanks so much. I'm hunkered down behind the Jeep. I got to keep this radio in the shade, but I've got like 6 or 7 contacts so far. They're coming in loud and clear, so it's doing great. We're going to wrap this up pretty soon when I get to 10 parks because I got the other park to go to, so looking good. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Kilo Whiskey, parks on the air, CQ POTA, from Kilo-5934 northeastern Utah, CQ POTA. Kilo November 6, Kilo India, I've got you to 5757 here northeastern Utah.
QSL, you are 53 Northern California.
Roger, roger, 53 in Northern California. Thanks so much for chasing me, I appreciate it. 73. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Kilo Whiskey, parks on the air, CQ POTA, from Kilo-5934 northeastern Utah. First time activation for this park, CQ POTA. Victor Charlie Zulu, come back one more time. QSL, Kilo 5, Victor Charlie Zulu, you're a 5555 here in northeastern Utah.
QSL, you are also 55 in North Central Texas. Tango X-ray, QSL.
QSL 55 North Texas TX, appreciate you chasing me, thanks so much. Hey, that was a big success. I got about 20 QSOs in about 15 minutes, fast and furious. I'm going to stop now because I want to catch the other park down the road here. I could go on for a while, but very successful first time activation of this park. Here's the logbook for Pelican Lake. You can see I got about 21 QSOs. I started off about 18 minutes after noon our time, and only took me 20 minutes to get all these QSOs. They were coming in real fast. I did everything on one frequency, the one I spotted myself at, and we got a good distance here. We got most of these over 1,000 miles. My furthest one away was in Georgia from WD4DAN, 2,000 miles. So it was a great day for that. Here's what the map looks like. I am located up here in this little purple circle and got most of my QSOs on the East Coast all the way down to Florida here, and a few over in California. So that's a great pattern. All right, just 7 more miles down the road on Highway 88, we get here to Ouray National Wildlife Refuge and National Fish Hatchery. So we're going to go in here and find a place to set up. It's a big place. There's several parking lots, and we should have no trouble. The Ouray National Wildlife Refuge lies along the Green River, as I showed you previously, and it provides diverse habitat types supporting about 350 fish and wildlife species. It only gets about 7 inches of rain annually, and there's about 16 miles of the Green River going through it, and about a quarter of the land is leased from the Uinta and Ouray Indian Reservation in the state of Utah. There's about 19 square miles of land here. It's considered by most some of the most significant stand of riparian cottonwoods on the entire Green River. It provides food and nesting for about 14 species of ducks and Canada geese. About 200 species of birds uses this area, along with a variety of mammals, elk, mule deer, otters, and prairie dogs. And there's an endangered cactus that lives here. The hookless cactus is a federally threatened species that inhabits the refuge. The refuge was established in 1960, and as I said, the Indian Reservation leases about a quarter of that to them. And it was created for the use of local and migratory birds, and with funds provided by the sale of federal duck stamps. And in 1996, they created the Ouray National Fish Hatchery, which helps hatch razorback suckers, humpback chubs, Colorado picky minnows, and bony-tailed chubs. We're out in the middle of the wildlife refuge. We're on the auto tour. There's absolutely nobody here. And again, the snow has just melted. It's spring, but things are not green yet. Not that pretty, but this is a very nice wetlands. And I've come to this corner here, and I've put my pole against that fence there, and I brought the wire over. I was tempted to go up on this observation tower and put my antenna up there, but I don't want to be too obvious. There's been some issues with people setting up and doing POTA in wildlife refuges, so I'm going to keep it subtle and off the radar. And we got the pole here. We'll set up and we'll activate this place. Okay, I'm all set up. I'm in my chair. I'm in the shade of the Jeep. Got my antenna way over there on the pole. And again, we got a noise floor of like S2 and 1. Should be a good activation. Okay, we're heading out. We had a successful activation. I thought this was a loop road, but this took us to the end here. We're on the edge of the Green River, which is flowing to the right of us. Doesn't look too pretty. It's a bunch of foam or some pollen on top of the water, but again, it's not quite spring. The leaves haven't turned green yet. Everything's sort of brown, but anyway, we've activated this one. Here's our logbook for Ouray National Wildlife Refuge. We've got quite a few QSOs. And again, we did this all in 20 minutes from 133 to 153. And again, I was only on one frequency that I spotted myself on. And again, just like at the other park, most of my QSOs were over 1,000 miles. I think the winner here was North Carolina from N4EX, 2,000 miles away. All nice and clear. He could barely hear me at a point at 3.5, but I could hear him pretty well at 5.5. So again, the nice clear day, low noise floor, really got out there. Let's look at the map. Again, I'm here at the purple circle, and it's all spread out around the country. A lot in California here. Got a cluster down in Arizona. I got way over here. There's the Canadian one that I got, and all on the East Coast. So a nice spread there. So another great day. Okay, we're going to head back home. We've successfully activated 2 previously unactivated parks. Nice job for the day. Nobody out here. What a perfect day. We'll see you on the next one.